BoltIn is a recruiter operating workspace built directly around the way sourcing actually happens. Recruiters still work on LinkedIn, but BoltIn adds the missing operating layer: ATS routing, approval discipline, outreach drafting, follow-up hygiene, compliance tracking, and agency-level setup. The goal is not to replace the ATS or LinkedIn. The goal is to make every sourcing action cleaner, safer, and easier to manage from one compact Chrome extension. BoltIn begins with a recruiter session. Once the recruiter signs in, the workspace confirms the authenticated account. This matters because ATS checks, audit logs, compliance records, and sync actions are tied to the recruiter and agency tenant, not anonymous browser activity. Refresh screen. This first screen is the session and LinkedIn context screen. It shows the active recruiter, the current LinkedIn profile detected from the browser, and quick actions. Open Profile takes us back to the active LinkedIn page, and Open Sourcer opens the live source-to-ATS workflow for that profile. Contact menu. At the top, we have Contact Us. This gives the recruiter quick access to email, WhatsApp, request functionality, report a bug, or general support. It is intentionally lightweight, so support is available without leaving the workflow. History screen. History is where managers and recruiters review workflow state. Approval queue is for candidates that need senior approval before ATS sync. Ghosting prevention tracks follow-up hygiene so candidates do not fall through the cracks. System automation shows scheduled operations such as retention enforcement, purges, and follow-up escalation. If a backend job is missing or misconfigured, BoltIn shows that truthfully rather than pretending everything is fine. AI screen. The AI and sourcing section is the recruiter enablement area. Intake governance helps define and calibrate the role before sourcing. Multi-source provides Boolean search strings, optional GitHub enrichment, and an air-gapped resume paste fallback. Recruiter enablement tracks message quality and agency playbooks. Client reality reports turn sourcing evidence into client-facing market feedback. ATS setup screen. ATS setup is where the agency configures its provider. The normal screen stays compact: agency name, ATS selector, provider credentials, validation, and save actions. Provider options are collapsed by default, but can be expanded to compare Bullhorn, Greenhouse, Lever, Workable, Teamtailor, and Ashby. Advanced setup is also collapsed, keeping templates, JSON defaults, and field mappings available without overwhelming daily users. Compliance section. Compliance and retention operations are built into the same workspace. Each candidate record shows lawful basis, consent, retention date, status, and available privacy actions. The compact cards make DSAR and retention actions visible inside the extension without requiring a large dashboard. LinkedIn source to ATS. On LinkedIn, BoltIn injects a small source to ATS launcher using the local BoltIn icon. Clicking it opens the sourcing drawer over the operator workspace. This keeps LinkedIn as the live sourcing surface while BoltIn handles ATS routing, validation, compliance, and drafting. Source drawer. The drawer reads the active LinkedIn profile, shows the candidate identity, confidence level, workable routing, duplicate readiness, parse data, and draft area. If parsing is imperfect, the recruiter can click Edit and correct name, headline, company, or location before anything is sent to the ATS. Primary sync. The primary sync action stays disabled until required conditions are met, including legitimate interest consent and valid parse data. This prevents accidental ATS writes. Once ready, the recruiter can sync the candidate to Workable and send the draft while BoltIn records audit and follow-up hygiene. Draft workflow. The draft panel gives the recruiter editable outreach text. Copy draft works for manual outreach, and regenerate is available when AI drafting is enabled. If AI is unavailable, the workflow still degrades gracefully with visible fallback text instead of blocking sourcing. Pinning. The sourcing drawer can be pinned so the recruiter keeps context while moving around. This is useful during live LinkedIn review because the candidate workflow remains accessible without constantly reopening the panel. So, in summary, BoltIn turns LinkedIn sourcing into a controlled agency workflow. A recruiter can identify a candidate, validate the profile, generate or edit outreach, confirm compliance requirements, and sync to the ATS with follow-up tracking in place. Agency owners get visibility into approvals, automation, provider setup, and compliance without forcing recruiters into a separate dashboard. This gives the agency speed at the sourcing level, structure at the management level, and a more defensible process for clients and compliance.